Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Wealth and Wellness Network, the show that empowers women to reach their greatest income potential using wellness practices that promote prosperity. It is Letitia Johnson, your host, also known as La, and I have my lovely co-host, Lalenia. Hi, Lala. How are you this morning?
Good morning. Whoop, whoop. I'm ready.
Morning. I had my morning coffee and I'm ready to go.
Me too. It's delicious, by the way.
If you're joining us for the first time, I am a certified personal financial coach, and Lala is a life coach and also a certified personal trainer with over 25 years of experience. If you're joining us for the first time, those who have been listening to us, you're already familiar with this. We have some amazing and a very great opportunity for you. And if you're joining us for the first time, you can participate too. Lara,
Absolutely.
how about you tell them about this fabulous
I will, but
information?
I want to give you a shout out first. She is also an author, and she's written some things that I just really love, and I can't wait for everyone to get their hands on it. I just need to give you a shout out like that. I'm sorry.
Oh,
She didn't know it was coming, everybody, by the way. And I was like, what? So how would you like to hang out with me and La for the day? We'd love to have you on the show. That's right. We would love to have you become a guest on the show. We want to know how's Wealth and Wellness Network, how's it helping you, right? We want to hear your feedback. We want to get to know you. You're learning a lot about us as we're going through these weeks, but we want to know about you and those that will be selected to be featured this month. So definitely to learn more, get information, tell us about you. We'd love for you to go to the wealthandwellnessnetwork.com. That is wealthandwellnessnetwork.com. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. And I know Laws too.
We are. It's going to be a great time because if you haven't noticed, we're pretty fun gals, I must say.
I'm thinking this is good. This is in video. I mean,
oh my goodness, we're gonna have so much fun. So please definitely check that out. We would love to feature you on the show and tell a friend as well. So we continue this month around kind of the topic of the law of attraction and utilizing your a very positive mindset, and we're gonna still stay on that line, but we're gonna shift it a little more, and we're gonna talk about something that as women we probably don't want to talk about, but we're gonna talk about how powerful your speech is, and we love to call this episode "Watch Your Mouth." I know, very direct.
Watch your mouth.
Watch your mouth, okay? So once again, we love psychology today, and I was reading another article like I always do, and I stumbled across this article entitled "The Power of Positive Self-Talk," and it's interesting because as kids, or at least for me, I had this idea of if you talk to yourself, you were borderline, quote unquote, crazy. And I know that sounds harsh, but that was what I had in my mind because that's what I was taught. You don't speak to yourself, talk to yourself. You know, if you talk to yourself and you answer yourself, then you may want to see a psychologist. But let's break down what we mean about positive self-talk, because we want to clear.
Because I was going to say I'm certifiable. Hello.
That's right. Well, hey, it works, and I'm gonna tell you a story. I'm gonna be very vulnerable here. But I was reading this article, and it hit home for me, and I want to talk about how powerful self-talk really is. So in the article, it says, you may have a negative message that replays in your head every time you make a mistake. As a child, you have been told you'll never amount to anything, or you can't do anything right. When you make a mistake, you will You will, because we all do. You can choose to overwrite that message with a positive one, such as, I choose to accept and grow from my mixed state. Or as, I learn from my mistakes, I am becoming a better person. Doing this exercise, mistakes become opportunities to replace negative views of who you are with positive options for personal enhancement. So the reason why that hit home for me, because if many of you may not know this, some of you may, but I grew up with a dance background, and I did ballet, jazz, hip hop, you name it. I did almost every style of dance. And especially when it came to ballet, there's this idea around perfectionism, being perfect. Your lines have to be flawless. You have to be light on your feet. You had to be a certain body type. And I was different compared to a lot of people that I had studied and took classes with. So I had this idea of being perfect or doing things only when I felt like I had reached the point where it's perfect enough for it to go out into the world. So I was very critical of myself growing up, because I had this idea around everything had to be to perfection. And then I was in a lot of competition, things like that. And I would compare myself to other people and you know how it can be as women. A lot of times we have something I call compare-itis, where, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think I know. I think that's not exactly. I mean, I think that's created by. But yes, I think
Society.
Know what you're talking about. You just put itis at the end of it, and there it is. It's a problem.
Exactly. So that's what I used to call it, because I noticed, being in that world of competition, that one person would compare themselves to the next. And I kind of came across and started utilizing that same habit. And with that said, I became very critical at times where I felt like I wasn't good enough compared to the masses, or when I felt like I haven't perfected a certain technique. And it spilled over into other areas of my life. I didn't realize it until I started to grow, but it actually spilled over into my finances even because I started to use words when I was had times of challenge, instead of saying it's a slow season for me, or I'm in between my blessings, quote unquote, I would say I'm broke, which is a very destructive way. You hear the negative connotation. I would say things like, I don't have enough, instead of, let me figure out how I can get more and grow. You get what I mean? So it's really utilizing your speech to enhance your future, to enhance your ability. And in the article, it says that positive self-talk is not self-deception, because a lot of people feel like when you're not honest, quote unquote, with yourself, or if you're not being a realist, that you're trying to deceive yourself. But really, it really is about your mental attitude about things, and
being your highest self. I mean, literally being your highest self, right?
Exactly. It is not mentally looking at circumstances with eyes that see only what you want to see, but rather positive self-talk is about recognizing the truth in situations and in yourself. So I want to just shift gears just a little bit, because one of the things that I realized as I did some study on this, because like I said, I didn't recognize this until I started to grow and work on myself and try to improve and be in my highest self, like Lala mentioned. And I started to think about my upbringing. And this show is not meant to be religious or to not include anyone, but this is just my upbringing, and I wanted to mention this because it helped me realize where my struggle was and where I needed to improve. So there's a scripture in Proverbs, Proverbs 18:21, and it says that death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. And I started to think about that because I would hear that a lot when I was in church when I was young, and I didn't really quite understand. I'm like, death and life, like, what are you saying? Like, you know, because I thought of it literally, but really it speaks to you have the power in your speech to either give life, to live it abundantly, or to literally stop any blessing that could come to your life. So this is what I mean. So I literally have the opportunity to create whatever destiny I want. How? I can speak, I can visualize, I can, whatever lifestyle, whatever idea, whatever future I want, I can create that through my speech. Right? But on the flip side, if I do not utilize positive words, things that are encouraging, things that are going to enhance my life, I will literally manifest destruction. So here's what I mean, because and this is not just something that was taught in Christianity or something that I found in my own life. I actually did some research, and it's something that different walks of lives, different nationalities actually they believe in as well, and they actually teach this throughout their culture. So there's an African proverb that I love, and I must say, it when you're used to doing something, sometimes it takes time to undo it. But I love this proverb because it's straight to the point, and it helps me to remember to always have positive self-talk. So it states, a cutting word is worse than a bowstring. A cut may heal, but the cut of the tongue does not. And that brought me back to memories of when I was younger and I was in competition, and I would hear negative things such as you're not good enough, or Letitia, you're not in the same caliber, things like that. And it literally cut so deep that it took so long to undo. I mean, just think of a child who may have been verbally abused, or may have been tormented or bullied in school. It literally cuts like a knife.
And it's not overnight.
And it's not overnight.
There isn't, that takes time.
It does.
I was thinking what you were saying in regards to that. It's that, and that story, right? That story, because you were telling yourself, sadly, and of course I have my own as well, right? You're telling yourself that story that just wasn't true. You were comparing yourself to other people when your value is intrinsic. You're one of a kind, right? But that story, and so it brings me to that question: what story are you, not Law, but all of us, you, telling yourself right now? Because words are powerful, and we have to deliberately make our statements. I want to key in on the word deliberately make our statements, right? If you want to, that difference of that positive and that negative, right? I want to be fit, healthy body, or is it I'm unhealthy and not fit? What words are you using, right? The same when we talked about our money story from the very beginning.
That's right.
Are we telling ourselves that it's hard to get, or it flows easily to us? So it's probably pretty obvious which way Law and I consider the best choice. I don't think you're going to have to go, wow, what are they saying here? But we have to begin by telling a different story if we want the law of attraction to bring us different things. We got to create that story. And as we do that, we'll feel better. And our vibration, which I've mentioned this before, and again, there's so many different thoughts around this, but if we look at either biblically or, from different religions, from different walks of life, there is a current that runs through it all.
That's
that the
right.
tongue and the words are powerful, and that vibration, our vibration, it activates and inspires, and then we can improve those feelings, because what are we? We're in control. We are in control. And that in itself is so powerful. And I know Law and I, we talk about this all the time. We talk about books constantly. It's like lots to say in this book and that book. But it's because we really want to continue to grow, and we want to be of value and bless you, right? So it's something that is driven, it's inspired. And one of my favorite books, and it's been around for a while, but I really love it. There's so many fabulous pieces, and that's Awaken the Giant Within. And Anthony Robbins, and it's great. Like, it's got these pieces. I mean, I've highlighted and I think tore back most of the pages to really touch upon pieces over and over again. And we've done this with many books, but it's got an exercise in there that has literally transformed my life and so many others. And we are bringing it down to that tongue, right? And the section is the vocabulary of our ultimate success. How words have a negative and a positive impact on us. And literally how we feel. Not only what we're speaking to others, but how we feel. So there's an exercise that I really like in it, and I'd love for you to experience it as well. So yes, you got homework again. I'm so sorry.
Yay for homework.
But I want you to take a moment as soon as you can, as soon as we're done, right? And you may have it at the tip of your tongue, but I want you to write down 3 words that you currently use on a regular basis that make you feel lousy. Now, some of us may know what those words are, but others, we might have to actually listen to ourselves. We might have to be ever conscious of what we're saying for the next few days to really get them, right? Are they words like bored, frustrated, disappointed, angry, right? Hurt, sad? What are these words? And so I want you to write down these words. And what we're going to do, our exercise is to change those words. We're going to deliberately choose different words, right, that we use on a regular basis, and we're going to empower ourselves instead of disempower ourselves. It's amazing how these words really have identity to them. And when I first did this exercise, at the time I used the word angry. I am very angry about that. I had several little kids. And I felt angry, and I did this exercise, and I changed my angry to disenchanted. Ooh, that feels different as soon as I say it. Is that I'm very disenchanted with this situation right now. It literally made me smile, right? Because it was such an outrageous, sort of almost crazy state of mind to say I was disenchanted. What am I, in a Disney film? And it really changed how I felt, and it was amazing. And so that is the first exercise that I definitely want you to do. It is my favorite. And in that book, he's got a lot of words that I love. And, Lau, you've probably heard many of these before, but, failure, right? We were telling the story, what is my story? And that story of failure. Well, instead of failure, I'm learning. Am I failing? No, I'm learning. Or maybe I'm getting educated. It's like, am I in fear? No, I'm currently in wonderment. I'm in wonderment of what's happening next, right? He gives us all of these wonderful words for, taking that negative word and transforming it into something positive. Depressed. That's a big word, right? Many of us have felt that way before, but I'm never depressed. It is the calm before my action. It is not on the top of it. It is I'm on the road to turnaround.
Wow.
And it's incredible. And I literally could go on and on with so many that he suggests in the book. And then I've found so many of my own personally, right? And it really changed the chemistry And then I was reading another book. Here's my second exercise for you. I was reading another book, and I love this. So first one, I want you to take those 3 words, right, that you use all the time. You may be listening, but my second one is it's our mantra mojo. What does that mean? I was like, mojo, I like it already, right? And mantra. Well, our mantra is what we tell ourselves. Right? What we're saying all the time. We're good enough. We've got this. We're one of a kind. What are we saying? What's our story, right? And then, because that's what we're saying every day. And then you add a little mojo. What is mojo? Well, in the Creole culture, it was magic, right? It was a fusion of different cultures that came together. And the word mojo became something. So if you've got your mojo working, what does that look like? So your next exercise is your mantra mojo. And this may sound a little zany, and some things that we throw out to you are going to sound out of the box. In fact, this might even sound a little corny, but it works. You don't have to share it with anyone else. This is one that you could keep just to yourself, right? And I'll give you a little example because, of course, we can't create it for you. You have to find your own mantra mojo. But I'm going to give you an example. When I ran a large retail operation, I suggested to my staff that when they would get a challenging customer, which we had a few, I know it's shocking, that they would have a mantra that they would say to themselves. And the one that I suggested is, I don't have to take you home with me.
Ooh, I like that one.
Because as they were getting all excited about something that really they weren't upset about that. What were they upset about? They were upset about something at home. It wasn't really that candlestick. It wasn't that plate. It was something else, right? And when they would do that, I'm not taking you home with me, right? All of a sudden they realized that, what? This is only going to last so long. It's going to be a short period and we get to move on. And so for that transformational, vocabulary, which I want you to spend some time on it. And again, highly recommend that section of the book. I want you to develop your mantra. Your mojo mantra, right? It's that I am feeling good, looking good, ready to take it on. And I want you to say it over and over again because it's going to help you stay on the right track, that the right energy is going to flow to you, the right direction, and it's going to pull you towards all of your goals. So my homework to you, going to write down those 3 words that we're going to change. We're going to change how you feel about them because remember, I'm not angry anymore. I'm just often disenchanted.
That's right.
And then you're going to take that mojo and your mantra mojo, and make it work for you. Make it work for you. I just love it. And I
love it. Mantra mojo. I love that.
Get that magic working.
That's right. It's so interesting. As you were speaking, I saw myself so much in a lot of the things that you said, because it is a process, and that's one of the things that our focus is here at Wealth and Wellness Network, is helping you through the process,
step by step,
because we understand, we get it. We're women, we're professionals, and we get that. Like Lala said, some of the things we discuss may be zany, quote unquote, or it may be different or outside of the box, but it works. But it's a work in progress. And the more and more you work towards to being your greatest unique self, the closer you'll get to achieving all of your goals. So that's why we're here. And we're going to keep giving you homework because we know that that will help you reach your greatest potential. And unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today.
Man,
I know. Susan gets so good. That's all the time we have for you today. But you can
come play with us.
Come play with us. Every week, you can come play with us. Have a great time. Every Monday morning, 8 a.m., same time, same place. And don't forget, if you want to be featured on the show, check us out at wealthandwellnessnetwork.com. Until next time, be safe, have a great time, and do your work.
Be blessed. Be blessed.
All right.
Thank
See you guys next week.
Bye.